Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be talking about TGS 2025, at least so far. That's Tokyo Game Show 2025. It is a Japanese convention in Tokyo where they have booths, think E3, think PAX, but it's in Tokyo this time. They also have video game announcements, which are always very fun. So TGS is a multi-day event, meaning that they announce games for multiple days and people show up for multiple days. And this year, it's taking place from September 24th to September 28th. As of recording, it is September 25th. So I'm going to be talking about the biggest announcements that have come out from the show so far and kind of have this be a little update video for you in case you missed some of the news that has happened so far. I've broken down the announcements into two separate sections. We got new game announcements, so these are new games that we didn't know about being announced for the first time. And then we have release dates given. This is where games that we already knew about are finally being dated for the first time. So let's get started. I think by far the biggest announcement that's happened so far is Yakuza Kiwami 3 / Dark Ties. This is a remake of Yakuza 3 and a continuation of the Kiwami remake style. Previously, we've had Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, and then for Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, they just did remasters. This is bringing Yakuza 3 in line with 1 and 2, bringing it to the Dragon engine, which is their latest engine. Looks pretty, looks modern, and it's exciting for me specifically because I've only played Yakuza 0 and Kiwami 1. Just knowing that Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 were remasters and not going to be, as touched up as Kiwami 1 or the little bit of Kiwami 2 that I did play kind of discouraged me from going forward in the series. So seeing Kiwami 3 being announced, very exciting. This for sure means that Yakuza Kiwami 4, Yakuza Kiwami 5 are on the way. RGG puts out new games at a pretty good clip. You can expect them probably every year, maybe even 2 a year. So I don't think it'll be that long before we have all the games in the Dragon engine. Now, will they go back? Will they port Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami to the Dragon engine? I don't know if anyone's ever thought of that. Maybe that's unnecessary, probably unnecessary, but it would be weird that those are the only two games that are not in the new engine. And, honestly, at the clip they're able to make these games at, it probably wouldn't be too hard for them to do that. And another excuse for them to sell it again. Although they did just release Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. You can't really see them doing another version of Yakuza 0, but never doubt the business of Japanese companies. Sega specifically. They love to re-release games. Along with Yakuza Kiwami 3 came the announcement of Dark Ties. Now I believe these are packaged together. And Dark Ties is a new game. Now, excuse my ignorance, but it seems to be almost a spin-off of Yakuza 3, maybe having a character from Yakuza 3 as the main character, and you'll have a whole new game with them. Now, we don't really know how long this is going to be. This is going to be maybe like a Dragon Gaiden, I believe that's the name. What is it? Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name, which I think was a shorter Yakuza game. It probably won't be as long as Pirate Yakuza that came out. Was that this year? So yeah, somewhere in that spin-off territory, but probably a little bit shorter considering that it seems to be tied in with Yakuza Kiwami 3. I don't think this will be sold separately, but I could be wrong. Please let me know. Either way, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties are coming out on February 12th, 2026. And I'm excited. I'm going to play Yakuza Kiwami 2 in preparation, and then I'll be hopping on the Kiwami train from there. Keep them coming, RGG. Thank you. Next, Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition launches March 19th, 2026. This is coming from Omega Force and Koei Tecmo. It's a remake of Dynasty Warriors 3. Now, they're calling it a remaster, but it really looks like a remake. The quality of the visuals remind me of Dynasty Warriors Origins, which I just played this year. Came out January this year. That was my first Dynasty Warriors experience. Now, I don't think I had that good of a time to the point where I'm going to hop on Dynasty Warriors 3, but it definitely piqued my interest in seeing I guess they're doing this now. I don't think this has been a thing. I don't think they have been remaking or remastering them. I'm sure they've looked at the industry. It seems to be a trend. Look at your beloved games, remake them, remaster them, either faithfully or reimagining them. But it looks like Koei Tecmo is getting on that train as well. So we can probably expect to see more Dynasty Warriors, maybe some of their older, Team Ninja games. We just saw Ninja Gaiden 2 Black earlier this year. I'm sure we're going to see more of that kind of thing coming from Koei Tecmo. Obviously, Gust is under Koei Tecmo. They're known for re-releasing games with deluxe editions. I think they just had the first Atelier game was remade as well. So maybe it's a company-wide initiative that this is happening. That's good for me. I haven't played a lot of these games, older Koei Tecmo games, so I'll be excited to check out some of them as they appeal to me. Let me know in the comments if this is your favorite Dynasty Warriors, why Dynasty Warriors 3 in particular was chosen. I'm not really sure. Next, this is a new game from, I think, a new studio called ChronoScript: The Endless End, set for release sometime in 2026. It looks to be a 2D action platformer, maybe a Metroidvania, but the thing that and those genres are, very populated. There's a lot of games, a lot of Metroidvanias, a lot of 2D action platformers, especially now. We just got Shinobi Art of Vengeance. We just got Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Ender Lilies, Magnolia. So, at least for me, this Gal Guardians, Servants of Dark. I haven't played that one yet. But at least for me, there's been a lot of Metroidvanias, a lot of 2D action platformers that have come out recently. So it's not necessarily the most, open genre, but this one is standing out because the art style looks so damn good. Really striking, immediately gets your attention, immediately sets itself apart from everything else in the market. I think it looks really cool. Still an unproven team, still, an ambitious art style. How much content will there be? It's probably harder to make assets for a game that looks like this. So I can imagine maybe a shorter experience. But it looks really promising, and I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it. It kind of reminds me of when I saw Plucky Squire for the first time. These really striking, visually interesting games. You're hopping out of the frame into ink and then back into the 2D plane. Just really cool, and I'm excited for it. Let me know what you guys think about this as well. Did it catch your eye? Or are you kind of just waiting to see how it turns out? It being a new team, unproven, new IP. It's kind of hard to get too excited, but I think it looks really cool, and I'm hopeful for it. Next, Let It Die Inferno, coming out December 3rd, 2025. I'm not really familiar with the Let It Die franchise. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't think I've ever really seen it. I don't think I've seen gameplay. So when I saw what it was, and they kind of described it as, I think, an extraction melee game or an extraction action game, which is a clear play on the extraction shooter trend that's happening in the first-person, third-person space right now. The original Let It Die was made by Grasshopper Manufacture, which I believe, that's Suda51 Studio. They're known for No More Heroes, of which I have not played, unfortunately, but I want to. It looks really cool, really stupid, really fun. I definitely need to check that one out. I just keep forgetting. There's too many games. Now, there was something interesting I noticed about this game when I looked a little bit deeper into it, as far as who's making it. So the Let It Die franchise actually has 2 games out already. The original was a free-to-play hack and slash game developed by, Grasshopper. And then there was a sequel called Deathverse Let It Die, which was a battle royale game. And that was actually developed by Super Trick Games, who is now developing Let It Die Inferno, this new extraction melee game. And so Super Trick has experience working on Let It Die, so you may have been a little discouraged by it not being Suda51's team, but it seems like that was already handed off a while ago. But the interesting thing is, Super Trick Games is a game studio that was spun off of Grasshopper, so surely there's still some connection there. And ultimately, it really is, spun off, meaning probably there's developers who were on Grasshopper who got moved on to this new team, so that some of that same DNA is still there. Maybe some oversight as well. I'm not sure if he's going to put his name on this. But it looks like while Grasshopper was founded by Suda51, he's not really credited, or at least on the Wikipedia page, as a director, producer, anything like that. So it seems like the team exists outside of him, which you like to see, you know. It's not like a Kojima Productions situation where, you know, it seems to be all about Kojima, you know, and there's great authorship there, but it seems like Grasshopper's not really built like that. They can spin off their teams and make some new projects. Either way, I thought it looked visually pretty cool. The gameplay looked interesting, but like not really my type of game. But you know, it's cool that a game like this exists. I don't think there's a lot of Japanese developers making games like this in genres like this that may appeal to a different set of players, you know? Let me know what you guys thought. It's not really for me, but maybe you saw something I didn't. Now we're going to look at some release dates that were given for some games that we already knew about. First being Nioh 3, coming out on February 6th, 2026. This is the third game in the Nioh series from Team Ninja, their Souls-like action RPG game. I haven't played Nioh. I want to play Nioh 2 specifically because that's the one everyone praises. It just seems incredibly difficult, and I'm sure this one will be just as difficult. If that's your cup of tea, I'm happy for you. I don't know if I want to hop in. You know, I'm just, I like a little challenge in my games, but this just gets to a point, you know. It just gets to a point. And Souls-likes, I'm kind of not feeling them right this second. I'm a big fan of Dark Souls, big fan of Demon Souls. I played a bit of Elden Ring, and by a bit, I mean 60 hours. But yeah, leaving From Software, going into these Souls-like, there's only a few I'd really want to hop into. I think I played a bit of Liza P, but Nioh is definitely like one of the OGs. Seeing it continue on is good. I like seeing that. But yeah, it might just be too difficult for me. I just have to admit that. I will not get good. Next, also a Souls-like game, coming from Bandai Namco, Code Vein. January 30th, dated for. Code Vein came out in 2019, and this is coming out in 2026, so that's a big gap between releases. Surely they saw the rise of Souls-like, thought, hey, we have a Souls-like franchise that sold pretty well. Why don't we do something with that? And that's probably why this game was made, I imagine. So maybe it's a little too cynical, but Code Vein coming back. I did see the trailer. I really wasn't super impressed with the visuals, honestly. And I think it has to do with the fact that first Berserker Kazan, I think that came out this year, has a very similar style, but I think it does it so much better. So maybe it's a lower budget happening over here with Bandai Namco. They're known to do that. But yeah, really didn't look that good to me, I don't think. And I think the first game at the time was really exciting visually, seeing this anime Souls cel-shaded kind of game, whereas now it seems like maybe not as fresh as it maybe once was. There's a lot more anime games out there, a lot more cel-shaded games out there that frankly look a lot better. But who knows, maybe the gameplay is great and people will end up really liking it. Let me know what you guys thought about the trailer. Am I crazy? Another piece of news that came out, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam has been delayed until 2026. This is coming from Level 5, which is unsurprising. Level 5 is known to delay their games. Inazuma 11, I think, got delayed again recently. Fantasy Life was long delayed before it came out. There's some other games they have coming out that, what was it called? Raincode Archives? Or is that the Kadaka? Or is that the... Which one is that? What am I thinking of? Deca Police? I'm thinking of Deca Police. I think. Yeah, that one long delayed. There's some other ones I think that they announced a while ago that still haven't come out. Level 5 known to delay their games. So really it's not surprising that Professor Layton is getting delayed. But for someone who has not played a Professor Layton game, I think the last one came out on 3DS sometime in the late 20-teens. I was not playing 3DS. But this one's coming out to, I think, all platforms pretty much. Maybe on Xbox. Let's see. Oh, no, wait. Is it only coming out for Switch? No way. Wait, is it only coming out for Switch? Oh, that's so disappointing. I guess it makes sense, but this isn't even being published by Nintendo or anything. Has it always been like that? I don't know. This sucks. This is bad news. Oh yeah, looks like it's only coming out for Switch. Well, fuck me then, because I'm still not gonna play it. I'm still not playing it, I guess. It got delayed, huh? It's probably bad. No, that's not true. I apologize. That's all I got really to say, Professor Layton. No, it's like a puzzle game. Somewhat similar to Ace Attorney, maybe. I don't know. They seem linked together, but I've played Ace Attorney, the first one, a little bit. Really liked it. Want to get back to it, but that one left Nintendo. So surely this one will leave Nintendo too, right? Like, I mean, come on. It's 2025. You're developing it. You're publishing it yourself. Put it out on other platforms. I guess you could barely get it out the door. Seven Deadly Sins has a new free-to-play action RPG coming out January 28th. This game was already announced, but now it's dated. It's coming out on mobile platforms and PC, so I think it's skipping consoles completely, which is surprising. So at first I thought it looked decent, and I was really jealous that out of all the anime to get a game that looks this good, it's Seven Deadly Sins. Can we get literally anything else? Literally any other shonen kind of property, I'd be down for. I'm sorry to Seven Deadly Sins fans, but it's just not it for me. You know, I watched the first season. Wow, what a show. Shout out to Greed. Was his name Greed, or is that the Fullmetal Alchemist version? Bond, maybe? The guy who wears the red jacket. That was the cool character. That was a cool character. Everyone else, kind of lame. Not gonna lie. Sorry to hate. But it looked really good, and I was incredibly jealous that an anime that I cared about didn't get a game that looks like this. Every anime that I care about gets a 3D arena fighter, so fuck me. Either way, I was heartened to see that actually this game isn't coming to consoles. It's a mobile game that's being put on PC as well. So don't get your hopes up too high, Seven Deadly Sins fans. You haven't won just yet. No real interest for me. The IP is uninteresting to me. The nature of it being a mobile game also sends red flags. But it looked really cool. So if I was a Seven Deadly Sins fan, I would definitely check this out. If you are a Seven Deadly Sins fan, let me know what you think about the game based on the trailer. Or are you going to check it out? I apologize for all the slander that I put on its name. And that's going to do it. So far, about 2 days into TGS, these are the announcements that we have. You know, it's been okay. You know, it's been all right. There's nothing groundbreaking, nothing super cool. Some of the biggest announcements we have are remakes, remasters. There's been some dates for some games that are exciting. There were some smaller updates, some new trailers for games we already know about, namely the HD 2D games, you know, Elliot, Octopath. There was a Monster Hunter Stories 3 update. There was an announcement for a Monster Hunter Wilds title update, and a title update for Phoenix Wright, which is really weird, but whatever. So there's definitely some other things happening here, but these were the new game announcements, the release dates that were given. Just wanted to check it out. What do you guys think? Do you think we'll get more super cool announcements in the next few days? Do you think TGS 2025 is a wash? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more coverage of the Japanese games industry.